Talk about the latest numbers coming from a new Harvard Caps Harris poll. It's showing a tight race. What are you seeing?
Well, let me take a step back and sort of describe the polls. So, over the course of the last 3 or 4 days, we were in field and we interviewed 3,100, over 3,100 registered voters, including over 2,600 likely voters, those who are saying that they will very likely vote in the election, and then also 900 voters or close to 900 voters from battleground states. So this is a super poll or a super sample, as you usually do heading into the final stretch. And simply put, it shows that Harris has momentum going into election day. And that momentum is reflected especially in the early voting, where she's up by over 8 points in terms of the early voting. But while kind of on a national level, Harris is up by 1.47%, to be very, very exact. And incidentally, that's exactly what the Real Clear poll of polls or average of all polls has her ahead. Trump actually flips it within the battleground states and with swing voters within those states. So actually, amongst the battleground voters, Trump is up by 2 points. So it's going to be a very, very tight election, right? Harris has the momentum, but Trump still has the advantage within those battleground states. And it's going to come down to this last 25 days and who's able to close the best, right? And convince voters to vote for them.
I want to talk about what you're describing as that Trump advantage in the battleground states. As we've all talked about for months, this election is really coming down to those 7 key swing states. And is the positive polling for Harris nationally versus the battleground states simply because Donald Trump is targeting these swing states more?
Well, the election will come down to these swing states, right? The ultimately, it's less about the popular vote than it is about how the popular vote translates in the electoral college. And so, when we look at the battleground state voters, we really focused on Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, right? And these are the states that will likely, and North Carolina, and these are the states that will likely make the difference in this election year. And again, it's a slightly different picture between the national polling, where Harris is up between 1 to 2 points, and again, these battleground states where voters are still sticking with Trump. And really, the big difference is not in terms of how Republicans or Democrats are voting. They're both sticking with their candidates roughly in the same proportion, but it's really independents. Harris wins independents nationally or in our national sample. They're breaking in her favor, and Trump actually is winning independents in the battleground states. And those independents are breaking in Trump's favor within the battleground states. So it's ultimately about that voter in the middle, which you and I have talked about many times now. It's going to come down to that voter in the middle and the decision that those voters make.